Only 34% of people in America consider themselves as attractive, with a further 8% going further and classifying themselves as beautiful. That's an insane proportion of people that don't believe they align with the category of good looking, even though they probably do. You see, throughout human history, and even now, you cannot deny that being attractive has its advantages. For thousands of years, those that were more attractive would be the ones that were breeding, and their genes would be passed on. Yet even now, research has found that attractive people do get special perks and easier lives, and they are also more likely to breed and spread on their genes. A lot of studies have found that people are tending to feel worse about themselves though due to the rapid rise of social media, specifically sites such as Instagram and TikTok. But what if I also told you that science, and more specifically psychology, has found some guaranteed ways to make yourself seem more attractive, even though I doubt you actually need them? No, they're not the basics like dress well, shower more, and delete TikTok, because, let's be honest, who can actually do that? They're based on research. Here is psychology's, and more specifically Hippocampus's, guide on how to be more attractive. Let's begin with perhaps the most peculiar of the lot. If you want to make yourself seem more attractive with relative ease, eat carrots. The literature is all in accordance, but I already know what you're thinking. Why? Well, carrots contain a compound called beta-carotene. They're actually full of it, and compared to most other fruits and legumes, carrots have the highest concentration. So what does it do? Well, upon entering the intestines and liver, one molecule of beta-carotene will be converted into 2 molecules of vitamin A through a dioxygenase reaction, and this is pretty quick too. Then this vitamin A, or its scientific name retinol, acts on the skin. It's an antioxidant, so it not only protects the skin from free radical damage, but it's also been found to reduce the speed at which skin cells fall off, which may reduce the clogging of your pores and acne. Yet that's not all. There's a protein your body will naturally make called collagen. When you get older, you gradually make less and less of it. Now, collagen is responsible for keeping the skin tight, smooth, and giving it its elasticity. Without it, as seen in those who are elderly or aging, wrinkles develop. Vitamin A has been found to counter this. It boosts collagen levels, giving rise to healthier, clearer, and tighter skin. If you take modern society out of question, going back tens of thousands of years, our ancestors were very, very shallow. They really only wanted the best looking Neanderthal. They would mate with the most attractive, and oftentimes this was decided by simple features, such as which cave woman or man had the nicest, clearest skin. In the present, this shallowness has followed us due to evolution. Human beings still want to mate with the clearest skin, even if it's subconscious. Just like it did so long ago, it promotes health and surviving offspring, which is obviously desirable. So because of this and the links to beta-carotene/vitamin A, science tested it, and here's what they found. Participants had to either look at faces before or after the subject of the face had taken beta-carotene supplements. Both the same people, and then an average from different people, were then tasked with rating the appearance of the face and how attractive it was. Unsurprisingly, all participants recorded that the face, once it had taken the supplement, was in fact significantly more attractive than what it was before. Another study from Fu found that again, beta-carotene supplementation gives off enhanced facial colour, perceived attractiveness and perceived health. But interestingly, the subject looked better, but they weren't actually any healthier. So there you go, eat your carrots. Now, what of some other methods? Whilst it may seem obvious, and maybe less obvious for some, the literature on sleep and attractiveness is fascinating. Stockholm University performed an interesting experiment, seeing 25 participants photograph following 2 days of sleep restriction and after a good period of regular sleep. Strangers then rated if they would choose to socialise with those in the photos, their attractiveness, health, sleepiness, and trustworthiness. Unsurprisingly, when the participants were sleep deprived, participants rated them as significantly less attractive, less healthy, and were even less likely to want to be friends with them. Another experiment, however, using 1 night without sleep, 2 saw the same results. Participants were again rated less attractive, sick, with some even going as far to describe the face as just pure uglier. Harsh, but the question is, why? Well, once again, it all comes down to your innate biological mechanisms, specifically how your ancestors found things attractive. If a lack of sleep does in fact make someone look unhealthier, it would be associated with diseases in the minds of our ancient relatives. Hence why the participants thought they looked ill. And even in this day and age, people don't necessarily want to hang around those who look ill. But actually, these effects of sleep deprivation do in fact link back to our collagen hypothesis seen with beta-carotene. Without sleep, your body cannot rejuvenate itself. Water will not be distributed properly, and so it accumulates under your eyes. This makes your face baggy, losing collagen proteins and reducing melanin, of which makes you paler. This eventually causes significant wrinkle formation. A good sleep will allow for proper protein synthesis and the appropriate utilisation of vitamins such as vitamin A. Beauty sleep is not a myth. Take a look at both of these faces. Which do you think is the most attractive? If you said the one on the left, you'll be agreeing with the majority, and that's because of symmetry, one side of the face being the same as the other. But the reasons for this are even more scary than before. Asymmetrical faces have been positively correlated to self-reported numbers of respiratory diseases in men, whilst also exaggerated sex-typical characteristics, lying about certain things. On the contrary, symmetrical faces have been associated with swimmer number and speed in men. I don't really want to get demonetised, so swimmers will have to do as the word. In women, whilst no reports for asymmetrical faces, symmetry has been associated with fecundity, the ability to produce healthy offspring. Again, this shows that modern humans are really no different from our evolutionary counterparts. Other studies have found that male sexual partners do correlate to skeletal symmetry as it does with perceived attractiveness. But do not worry, there are ways in which facial symmetry can be improved. Most of the time, asymmetry can be brought on by chewing primarily on one side or stretching one side of the face more. Chewing with the other side or stretching the other can help resolve this, to a degree. You see, everyone does have a bit of symmetry. It's quite rare someone doesn't, which is similar to the next psychological feature of attraction, averageness. This is a measure of how closely a face resembles to the majority in the population. Just like with every other trait, averageness is explained by our evolution. Our ancestors, when a rather unique-looking Neanderthal came along, most would be predisposed to choosing the mate more average. Those with the unaverage face would be assumed to have a more diverse set of genes, resulting in less common proteins to which pathogens are poorly adapted, meaning the more average are less likely to get sick. Another theory posits that it's the extreme, non-average genotypes of certain genes are likely to be homozygous for deleterious alleles. These people are more likely to possess genes detrimental to individuals than those with the average DNA sequencing. But is this backed up by science? Yes, it is. Studies have supported a link between averageness, genetic diversity, and attractiveness. People have rated those with average faces as more attractive using generated faces by AI. And facial averageness can in fact predict medical health, in that it is often better long term. This basically means that when faces are more average, we innately associate them as being healthier, and would therefore be more inclined to breed with this person. Our offspring/children will be presumed to be healthier, and we can pass on our genes through the child. We're honestly no different from unsentient beings in the wild. So maybe don't bother doing your makeup as unique and different as possible, because the truth is you're perfect just the way you are. Let's talk about the final trait routinely discussed by science. Now, these faces. Which do you think this time? It was found that both the top left and bottom right were seen as more attractive. Does this surprise you? Lots of researchers found that stereotypical feminine features on a biological woman are rated as more attractive, as are typical masculine features on a biological man. Now, obviously, it's evolution again. Male features are associated with dominance, whilst feminine characteristics with nurture, both essential for humans' early prosperity. However, in men, feminine faces are also seen as attractive. It actually depends on one crucial piece of information: the woman's cycle. Studies have found that should a woman be ovulating, they will peak in their preference for masculine faces. They want a face showing long-term health, reproductive potential, and physical strength. Contrarily, when it's the time of the month, women seek the face of a man with more feminine features. They seek the nurturing look for the difficult time they're about to face. This means that if you are attracted to women and you want them to be attracted to you, try to time it correctly, because at one point they will actually find you attractive. So these are the ways in which psychology has deemed important to make yourself attractive in the eyes of others, all because of our ancestors hundreds of thousands of years ago. From eating carrots to making yourself more average and sleeping, not to mention stopping comparing yourself to influencers. As said, the majority of people don't have an average or symmetrical face, and that's what makes you, you. It's important that you remember you're already attractive. Don't waste energy doing anything for someone that doesn't already know that. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate every single one of you. Be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed. It's free and it really helps me out. See you next time.